Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A local community devastated by the senseless shooting of a man known for his devotion to faith and family.
A man is seen on camera swiping someone else's credit card. Then police say he went on a spending spree. That story tops our news at 6. A crime anyone can fall victim to if they let their guard down.
No doubt, which many of us often do every day, really, when we're out and about, eating out. Police say once this thief got what he wanted, he turned into suddenly a very big spender.
Our Sean Lay reports the trouble began at the Black Rock Bar and Grill just off Hall Road near M53 in Utica.
Good evening, everyone, from Utica. I'm going to show you the video of this guy simply reaching behind him into a purse and taking out a woman's credit card. Then this guy goes right next door to Target, where he charges $833, goes around the corner to the Home Depot, and he charges more than $3,000. And tonight we know exactly what he was buying.
Obviously, we have an individual that's quite comfortable with what he's doing. This is not the first time he's been involved in this type of activity.
He's cool as a cucumber, and you can see his face clear as a bell. Watch as the family behind him enjoys their time at Black Rock Restaurant on Hall Road in Utica last Friday at 9 o'clock. Watch him reach behind and slip his hand into a 62-year-old woman's purse. In fact, he reaches in a couple of times before pulling out her wallet. Soon afterward, the woman began getting credit card alerts on her phone. $833 spent at Target just down the street. $3,033 spent at a nearby Home Depot. He was buying gift cards to quickly flip into cash.
They'll take the gift cards, they'll get them divided up into a number of different increments, and many times they turn those and they'll just sell them outright.
Watch closely. That suspect strolls in the restaurant with a woman. Watch as she appears to hide her face from cameras. When a restaurant employee checks on them, she slides a menu over to conceal his activity. Credit card theft just like this can create a nightmare for the victim. In fact, Utica's Police Chief Sean Cody tells those close to him, with so many thieves out there, leave the purses at home. That's what the world has come to.
Nope, I recommend to all relatives and family members, don't take purses at all. It invites the problem that you're going to leave it somewhere, and all it takes is a moment's distraction, and you're going to be without.
You're gonna be without. We're live tonight. Now, we're gonna take that video we just showed you, put it on clickondetroit.com. You can go right there in a few minutes, review the video, because you can really see the man's face very clearly. Utica police are saying if you recognize him, please give them a call. They would like to track him down right away. Kimberly Devin, back to you.
Yeah, that video is just unbelievable. I don't know how many times I put my purse on the back of my chair just like that, and just crazy. Sean, I know you said this guy looks like he knows what he's doing. Do police believe he's done this before?
We talked to the detective on the case. He says just by watching the actions, he's a professional at this. The two got out of there with 2 credit cards that they took from the woman's purse, went right to the Target and the Home Depot before she knew what was going on. Once the alerts appear on her phone, she cancels the card, but they've already got $4 grand on those cards, just like that.
Absolutely incredible. Well, as you say, you could see the video pretty clearly. Hopefully somebody knows who he is and will say something, or he'll turn himself in. Thanks, Sean.
Okay.
A vigil is planned for tonight for a man who was a staple in the church community in Inkster. Nick Jones was shot and killed after getting out of his car. Police are working to find not only the shooter, but a motive. It happened on Saturday on Lehigh Street. Coco McAvoy spoke with Nick's family and his pastor, who want whoever did it caught.
A deadly shooting on Lehigh Street in Inkster left behind a puzzling scene and formed a huge void for the people who knew and loved Nick Jones.
Our family is just devastated for this senseless murder of my cousin, Nick.
Barbara and Willie Cooper say Nick was looking for houses in the neighborhood with a family member when he came across a man he didn't know. Police say there was some type of altercation.
No altercation on Nick's part. The altercation came from him.
The man shot Jones, and in his final moments,
he was telling the guy, God bless you, brother. God bless you. You know, what are you doing?
Jones's friend and pastor, Kellen Brooks, says Jones had a strong faith.
He was always talking about the gospel, like that was his main message, the gospel of Jesus Christ.
In a recent recording, Jones was spreading a message of love at the Pentecostal temple.
Show love by going extra, not for ourselves, We're trying to show Christ.
He was the videographer at the church for decades, capturing several moments for the congregation.
So many things and memories that we have locked in has been because of Nick.
The church community and Jones's family are holding on to those memories to help ease their grief and are praying for justice. And of course, if anyone has any information about the shooting, you're asked to call the Michigan State Police Department. And that vigil will be starting very shortly at 6:30 at the Pentecostal Temple. Reporting live this evening, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
Let's hope someone can help out. All right, Coco. Kim.
New details emerging in the shooting death of an off-duty police officer today. Back on June 2nd, Detroit police officer Elaine Williams died inside her Garden City home, and now her live-in boyfriend is charged with murder. Local 4's Rod Maloney is live tonight with what came out of today's preliminary hearing, Rod, and a neighbor who heard the gunshots, took the stand.
Yes, and he's being very difficult. Now, let's remember that this murder happened in Garden City, but the shockwaves were felt here downtown Detroit at the police headquarters because Sergeant Williams was studying for the lieutenant's exam. She was a rising star, had a couple of children, and yet died in a domestic incident. This shooting rocked the Detroit Police Department. Chief James Craig called Officer Williams beloved. Her relationship with her boyfriend, Eddie Ray Jr. Johnson, not as rosy. A sheriff's deputy rolled Johnson into court today. Prosecutors claim Johnson pumped 4 bullets into Williams' head and 1 into her shoulder and then shot himself as cover. They called neighbor Douglas Fields to the stand. He testified Johnson and Williams accompanied him and another couple to a bar, and they'd returned home drunk around 11 p.m. Fields' son babysat.
I remember getting my son.
Okay.
Hearing the gunshots. 1 or 2 at first, then a pause, a couple more as I was going back across the street.
With whom were you going back across the street?
Myself, after I took my son back to my house.
Fields called Johnson his best friend and was not anxious to answer prosecution questions, but he admitted he went into the home to remove Williams' son after the shooting.
Eddie came out of the house, said that he had been shot, was bleeding, holding his stomach. Was looking at him, didn't know what happened. Said he'd been shot, got shot, been shot, white boy, been shot. But okay, all my, freaking out myself. Went in the house, grabbed Mari. Elaine was on the floor.
Now, prosecutors were frustrated with his testimony because he said he couldn't even remember writing the statement that he signed the night of the murder that had infinitely different information than he was giving on the stand today. They claim that he walked over Williams' body, pulling their son or her son out of the house after that shooting. Back to you.
Interesting day. Well, Rod, what's next in the case?
Well, usually preliminary exams are over fairly quickly, but not this one. Testimony resumes in the morning.
Yeah, and we'll be covering it. Okay, Rod, thanks.
Kelly Stafford's brain tumor battle and her road to recovery has captured the attention, of course, of Detroiters and a lot of Lions fans, but also people across the country.
Yeah, and now for the first time, she's talking about the diagnosis, the surgery, and how this affected her and her family. Our Hank Winchester sat down with the Staffords, and Hank, it's been quite an emotional year for Kelly and Matthew. I mean, their whole family.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, not only that diagnosis, finding out you have a brain tumor, but then finding out that the surgery that was 6 hours is now going to be a 12-hour surgery. As you can imagine, it was very tense. But Kelly is focused on one thing, and that is getting well, not only for herself, but also her family.
She pulled up my MRI and she's like, okay, well, here's your brain tumor. I remember sitting down with them in the waiting room and just losing it. Just thinking about our girl. But I also remember at that point looking around in that waiting room. Yeah, sorry. And all the other people sitting there and reminding myself that people go through this every day. But as I look around, I kind of pulled strength from everybody in the room.
Day 1 through 10 were like, we needed all hands on deck just to get her to and from the bed. I see her now and I'm just amazed, honestly.
I'm relearning how to move again. Your brain just gets tired quicker because it's trying to figure everything out. I push myself, I try.
Kelly's doing incredibly well. Her doctor
movement looks fine there, by the way.
Right? I mean, I think back to going to the house right after she had surgery, and I mean, she wasn't kidding. She could not move. She couldn't get off that couch. And then to see the amazing recovery, it's really impressive. But that also takes work. That's dedication.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Her doctor had really interesting things to say.
He is an amazing man. We had the opportunity to sit down with him, and you know, they could have gone anywhere, right?
Yep.
But this doctor's right here in our own backyard in Ann Arbor. Here's what we're working on for tonight at 11 o'clock.
Inside the operating room for Kelly Stafford's marathon brain surgery, and the local doctor from the University of Michigan who helped her get on the road to recovery.
It was just an additional challenge. I remember opening up and seeing this vessel right over the internal auditory canal, which is where the nerve and the tumor goes out from the skull. And I thought, gosh, not on this case, you know, how could it be?
A surprise during the surgery will be revealed, and Kelly shares an important message for all women. That's tonight at 11, only on Local 4.
And our coverage is going to continue tomorrow morning on Local 4 News Today, beginning at 6 a.m. For many years, Kelly has been the caretaker, you know, always worried about Matthew and possible injuries on the field, where those roles obviously reversed when Kelly was diagnosed, and you will see how Matthew was with his wife every step of the way. Then at 5 o'clock, the love from Lions fans and really people all over Michigan. Yes, fans can be outspoken on any given Sunday, but you will see how Detroiters helped in a huge way, and both Matthew and Kelly have a very special message for all of you. We know those fans can be outspoken.
Yeah, and she fires back at him, which is good, I think.
She does.
But her strength and resilience, I mean, and we appreciate her sharing her story with us, too.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I know for sure, and the doctor also is very aware of. She's already helped so many people.
Yes.
And bringing awareness to it.
And like you said, the doctor right in our own backyard. They can go anywhere.
U of M.
Look forward to talking to you soon. All right. Sure. Well, time for a check of the national stories you'll see at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News.
Let's head to New York. Lester Holt standing by with more. Lester.
Hey, Devin and Kim, coming up, I go inside the largest maximum security prison in the nation, the extraordinary journey into the heart of America's mass incarceration crisis as part of our Justice for All series. Plus, more than a dozen women filing a lawsuit claiming they were sexually assaulted by their Lyft drivers. We'll tell you about that as well.
Yeah, and Lester, it's believed there could be many more victims in that.
Yeah, that's according to the lawyers anyway. They say there could be as many as 1,000 potential victims and that the drivers could still be behind the wheel. Why the lawyers claim Lyft is falling behind on security when we see you tonight.
Yep. All right. We'll see you in just a bit.
Well, some people are upset over Governor Whitmer's decision to ban flavored e-cigarettes. Just ahead, we're going to hear from the governor herself. Also, Dr. Frank McGeorge with expert medical opinions on that move. In the meantime, here comes Ben.
Devin and Kim, temperatures dropping below average tonight, and get used to it because we've got a string of these nights ahead. We'll see how cool it's going to get in your 4-zone forecast coming up.
Okay, Ben, and a local manufacturer is expanding, building a new headquarters in another Detroit suburb, and that means jobs. We'll tell you who it is and where you'll see this building. That's coming up next at 6.
I don't take it lightly when you want to share your story. I hold people accountable, I stand up for others, stop the bullying, and hopefully make positive change.
The clock is ticking on Wall Sight's fall sale.